So, hello. I'm so excited for our special guest today, Dr. Tolulope Olabintan. She is an amazing family medicine doctor and lifestyle medicine specialist, and I'm going to tell you a lot more about her in a moment. But I just first wanted to start with welcoming you to our audience. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Makda, for having me here. I am honored, delighted, excited, and a little curious as to what we're going to do today.
I, so I surprised her with our warm-up game. So we'll start with our warm-up game, which is called Convergence or Mind Meld. And it's a quick little warm-up game where we both try to say the first word that comes to our mind. Like on the count of three, you just say like 1, 2, 3 apples, and you say the first word that comes to your mind. And
Okay.
we try to see if our minds telepathically can tell each other the same word. Okay.
Okay.
So if we don't get it on the first round, right? So say I say apple, you say pear. The next word, we try to think of something that connects the two somehow, but it's broad. Like, so we both may say fruit, or we both may say picnic, or we both
Okay.
may say like candy,
Fun.
or something. So whatever the first word comes to your mind. And we play it for just a few minutes and see
Okay.
if our minds, if we can telepathically get on the same page. Ready?
All right,
Okay.
let's do it.
All right. So on the count of three, you say the first word that comes to your mind. 3, 2, 1. Sweets.
Candy.
Okay, sweets and candy. Okay, but you're not supposed to hear my word when you say your word.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
Got
hear
it?
it.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Okay, so sweets and candy. Something that puts sweets and candy together. You ready? And it can be anything broad or. Ready?
Okay.
So on the count of three, just say the first word that comes to your mind. We try to say it at the same time, but 1, 2, 3, go.
Birthday
Cavities.
party.
I said cavities.
I'm thinking birthday party.
I
Okay,
like
okay.
okay. Cavities and birthday party. Put those together. You ready? So on the count of three, it can be anything, just
Okay.
anywhere. And
Okay.
that's the point. The point is not to overthink it or because we
Okay.
normally have this filter where we overthink, like, oh, that may not
Mhm,
be right, but
mhm.
there's no right or wrong answer. It's just to just have your mind be free. Okay. So on the something that connects birthday party and cavities. Ready? All right. 3, 2, 1.
Teeth.
Cake. What'd you say?
Teeth.
Teeth. Okay, teeth. And I put cake.
Okay.
Teeth and cake. Huh.
Okay.
Okay. Teeth and cake. All right.
I like this game though.
Yeah. All right. Something that connects teeth and cake. And whenever we think of it, just say you ready, and then we'll count to three.
Okay, ready.
Ready? Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Bite.
Ice cream. You said bite.
Yeah, bite it
Yeah,
too.
that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, bite. I was thinking like, ice cream somehow. Ice cream.
I know what you're craving. Ah.
Sweets.
Hmm.
Sweets, but I gotta watch out because those cavities. Okay, so something that connects teeth. You said bite. So
Yes.
bite and ice cream. All right. Bite and ice cream. Okay, I got it. Oh wait, that's huh. All right, but it's okay. Just say the first word that comes to mind.
Okay.
Got it? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Cold.
Popsicle. Oh, what'd you say?
It's cold.
Oh, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking like freezer, like your teeth
Mhm.
get frost,
Cold.
but then I was
Yeah.
thinking popsicle. So popsicle and cold. I was just being more specific. So popsicle and cold, put those together. You ready?
Hmm.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Ice.
Ice.
You think ice too?
I was thinking, because I
Yay!
couldn't think of anything outside of that because they're both cold.
Yeah,
Um, okay.
yeah, we got it. So that we our minds merged. So fun. That's a lot of fun. Okay. So, all right, everybody, let me tell you more about Dr. Olabintan and more about our topic for today. So, before we get into her bio, I just want to tell everyone that Dr. Olabintan is a very outgoing person, a very friendly person. She's also a wonderful doctor. And she also has this aspect of her personality, and it shows like in her care that she's very authentic in her personality. And sometimes she can be a little goofy and silly, which I love because in medicine, you don't see it so much. And I just wanted to talk about like this, showing your personality, of course, not to an extreme, but in a way that you're able to maintain your professionalism, but also be yourself and not hide the true character of who you are, right? So we're just going to go into this topic of authenticity. But first, let me tell you about Dr. Olabintan. Okay. So she's fondly called Dr. O by her patients, and she's board certified primary care and lifestyle medicine physician. And she's the founder of Living Spring Family Medical Center. She's a life enthusiast, she's a Christian, she's a mom and a wife, and she enjoys good food. And her favorite colors are teal and orange. She envisioned a healthcare center to provide comprehensive, wholesome care. And she created that center for herself, the Living Spring as a center, which she created. So she helps her patients live long and well because she believes the quantity of life is just as important as the quality of life. And it really emphasizes with her patients the importance of lifestyle changes so that her patients can not only just survive, but thrive and enjoy their lives. She came up with the title of her healthcare facility from the Bible, where it's described that okay, living spring was coined from the Bible, describing God as the living spring, right? An ultimate source of true healing. And in the place of service, she believes that she's a conduit of such healing through her clinic because she creates an atmosphere of compassion, committed care with sound medical knowledge. She completed her medical degree from UND&J Rutgers Medical School in 2007. She did her family medicine residency, family medicine, from Albert Einstein College of Medicine. And she was also the chief resident. And she went on to complete a women's health and surgical obstetrics fellowship at St. Francis Hospital in 2011. And other than being a board certified family physician, she's also a fellow of the American Academy of Family Physicians. And she's had more than 15 years of medical experience, and she loves serving her patients currently in her own practice. So thanks for joining us today. Like, you're very impressive.
Thank you for having me. That's a long intro.
I
Well,
know.
thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here and to see
You're
you
so
again as well.
Yeah, soak it all in. You did it, and you have a wonderful clinic. Tell us a little bit more about your clinic, how long you've been and had your own facility. And
Okay. So we opened July 2021. And so
mhm.
we turned 3 July, and we have a growing team. And we're big on care sincerely, helping our patients make better decisions by showing them that we care and nudging them, using medications, lifestyle changes, habits, mindset changes as well. So there's a wholeness when it comes to healing. So it's here in Mansfield, Texas, not too far from Dallas, and we're still taking new patients. So, yes.
Right. So if you're in Mansfield, Texas, and you're looking for a primary care provider or someone that will help you on the road to not only just improving your quality of life, but your quantity of life, she is the one to see over in Mansfield. Definitely. So let's go into some of our questions. So, Dr. O, you built your career and practice on this sincere and wholesome care. How would you say embracing your authentic self, like including your faith, your personal interests, has influenced your approach to how you care for patients within your practice? Like, how has that influenced you?
The truth is, I think people can smell pretense. When you're
Mhm,
not being yourself, there's an aura that you pass on. I'll be honest with you. Initially, when you define, when you talk about professionalism, what does that mean?
mhm,
You need to be stiff, look
mhm,
serious all the time, not goofy, look and sound very articulate, not laugh too much, wear gray and blue. And those were things that, I'm not saying they're bad, but I like pink and teal and orange and colors.
mhm,
I see that patients, especially kids, light up when they see color. It's a good
mhm,
conversation starter too. I didn't quite understand why hospitals were gray and dull color. It looked doom and gloom. So our colors are orange, the walls, orange and teal. So, life color.
mhm,
And so it's embracing that uniqueness as a gift to my patients that help me show it. I'm not always goofy, but I find that when I get you to laugh, the healing process starts.
mhm.
When I'm sincere with you, when I make it known that I'm human in my conversations, that I can relate to you, then you're able to say, hey, you really feel my pain point. So I can share it with you and you can help me through.
Right.
Especially talking to moms, balancing it all, prioritizing themselves, feeling guilty about self-care, or not liking certain foods. Like, I'm not excited about, I talk about fruits and veggies a lot, but I'm not too excited to eat it all the time. So
Mhm,
that authenticity is saying, hey, you should eat fruits and vegetables not because they're delicious, but because they're good for you.
mhm,
I mean, some are delicious, but they're good for you. And so it's being real, human to human, while still showing that you are the one who's gone to school and learned the medications and the things that would help you live better, but still be able to relate. It requires authenticity. And then speaking on my faith, I believe that the true source of healing comes from God. And so I serve as a conduit, and I would be remiss if I didn't share that. In fact, I think
mhm,
there was one time sometimes I put content out on social media and I was kind of writing about different ways to improve your health, from a mindset standpoint. And I felt like, God telling me like, hey, you talk about that, but you don't talk about me. I help people, I satisfy people with life. So
mhm,
talk about my principles founded in the Bible. And so knowing that I'm called to do this and I want to help people live long and well, I can't but share the gift I have,
mhm,
my skill, and also share my faith because it's a big part of who I am and how I am able to. It's like me trying to hide the secret sauce and just tell you to figure it out. So when the
mhm,
opportunity arises and people ask me about my faith, I'm able to share and encourage them and pray with them if they allow.
mhm,
Which I get their permission first. So I think when I get past myself and my fears and my, worry about being not appearing professional, but I don't
mhm.
know who defined the term.
Right.
And I'm focused more on the person I'm sent to. So my patients, then kind of those things kind of fall apart. And even from residency, I could see that patients related more with me because I was more authentic. And they
Mhm,
said it. They were like, you're like the coolest doctor I've ever talked to. I feel like I can relate to you. I feel like I'm talking to a friend.
mhm.
And so that reemphasized that what I was doing was good. And that's encouraging. So,
I really love that because, I have myself, I think a lot of us as physicians, when we go through the process, especially when you are, medicine is its own culture, right? Its own subculture, especially within America, it's its own culture. And within that, we have to assimilate in a lot of ways. Like, you feel that you may have to hide certain parts of yourself in order to fit in or pass or get along. Say you are from the South and you had a very Southern accent, you trying to want to hide certain things about yourself, or you may be someone who jokes easily. You want to hide certain things, so because of this professionalism talk that we see. But if you hide so much of your personality, you lose that essence of yourself and that ability to connect with other people, right? So I love that you still have that and focused on, like, I'm professional. Of course, I can be a professional, but also like color. I can be a professional, but also be able to relate to patients and also there's also that self disclosure. Sometimes it's okay to share some challenges that we have, but of course not to
Right.
an extensive
Right.
like
Right.
I'll
You
have
know,
challenges with veggies sometimes, you know?
well,
Excuse me.
there's an art, and we're not, and we're not here saying, go there and that. You read the room,
No. Mhm.
but people, authenticity speaks, and so we got to find the right dial to the right level per patient, and
Right.
so allowing ourselves or giving ourselves permission to do that is important, because you can choose nope, not no, just straight laced, and no, we don't have to. You can still be yourself and practice medicine and be a blessing as you read the room.
Yes, so it definitely takes reading the room and not oversharing too much, but you can share like, I, have also struggled with vegetables in the past. So I pick my top 5,
Mhm.
5 to stay alive, eat 5 veggies a day. So
I
I eat
like
my
it.
5.
Stay alive. I like it. I like it.
Yes, so then you pick, out of my favorite, carrots, broccoli, I may not like arugula or a certain vegetable, but that's okay as long as you find which vegetables you may like, right? So
That's right.
having those conversations with patients and being open to sharing helps them as well because they realize it can be a conversation. It doesn't have to be like I'm telling you exactly what to do. And I
Right.
like that you found that balance even when there's some pressure, right? Have you ever felt pressure from outside to, hide certain aspects of yourself or to, you know, dull the color or to not connect in the way you do with patients?
I mean, yes, I've worked in places where it was obvious that I was there maybe to fit a quota. I don't know how else to phrase that.
Mhm,
And so I mean, there are ways, you still find ways to be a blessing, because that's the point. It's not for me to come show myself.
mhm,
It's, hey, I want you to do things that make you laugh, or
mhm,
cracking a joke in the room and saying, hey, we can try this way, or how about hula hooping for exercise for fun.
mhm, mhm,
Like, you don't have to go to the gym, bench
mhm.
press. We could do like, but I mean, there are ways.
Absolutely.
The work atmosphere doesn't even have to be morbid. When people come to see us, it doesn't have to be doom and gloom. It's we asking them a permission to dig deeper, or to say, hey, why should you care about this more than me? Wanting your labs to look beautiful. Like their metrics. Don't get me wrong. We want A1C
Mhm.
to be good, but it's also a question: why should you want your A1C to be good? So finding
Right.
ways to get people involved, and not I tell you what to do as the physician, because you're the one swallowing the pill. So I need to
Mhm,
get your interest. So learning that the way we're doing stuff, I'm not saying it's completely bad, but we need to also empower patients to help themselves. But back to the question, yes, there have been places where I felt a little stifled, where I felt a little micromanaged, but that happens when you work for other people.
mhm,
And you signed up for a job. I guess that's the price to pay. But I think
mhm,
there are creative ways to still find expression of joy, expression of hope, even in a system that seems kind of cookie cutter.
mhm,
And that's little spurts of joy, little spurts of conversation,
mhm,
right? Even though the time constraints make it hard, but there are ways.
mhm.
There are ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So my another question that I have for you is, well, you kind of already talked about how embracing your personality has helped you connect more and make a difference in patients' life. Can you give us any like example in particular without, of course, without any patient information, but just like an example of how just, I guess, it's a combination for you. It's the faith, it's the embracing the personality, the color, how that in general has, what good feedback have you gotten from patients in regard to that, like your uniqueness? Mhm.
Oh, I think the story that comes to mind, and there are many examples, just encouraging people to fight for their dreams, to dream, to see themselves the way God made them, beautiful, powerful, an expression of Him.
Mhm,
Of course, we all have to grow into. I believe that I mean, we don't stay the way we are, right? Every day we
mhm,
become better versions of ourselves. God has created us in His likeness to be a certain mold, beautiful, beautifully executed. However, we got to grow into it. So
mhm,
I love encouraging people, my patients particularly, and my kids especially,
mhm,
reminding them like, hey, what are challenges you're facing? Sometimes the bully issue. I
mhm,
had a kid one time, beautiful, had beautiful gag teeth.
Mhm.
beautiful, but she had issues. People
Mhm.
were making fun of her
Mhm.
lovely color to her skin, and she didn't like her hair, didn't like. And then we got to find out about bullying and all the things. And so I got all the dramatics out, like, girl, please look at you. What? I have four eyes.
Mhm.
And then it's like, girl, you are awesome. I'm like, look at mine. This is a
Mhm.
beauty mark.
It is
Like,
a beauty mark,
I'm
especially in a lot of African countries.
in our cultures.
It's a
And
beauty mark.
she was also of African descent. And I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, like I'm like, girl. So I started doing a dance, like, girl, look at you, you are awesome, you're beautiful. And she
Yeah.
starts to laugh, like
Oh.
giggle. And so
Mhm.
I gave her three affirmations, things she should start speaking to herself. And I told mom the conversation doesn't end. You got to remind her who she is. Like in the face of challenges, in the face of bullying, in the face of negative standards or standards that make you want to not be yourself, you got to keep reinforcing. You got to keep. It's like offloading viruses, reloading with good content. Like it's a cycle that needs to continue. And so it's not a here go see a therapist. Yes, go see a therapist, but hey, what can we do right in this moment? Like
Right.
girl, yeah,
Mhm.
what? So things like that. So I get to be a
Mhm.
little dramatic, and they're like, man, yo, you're a doctor. I'm like, yes, I am.
Yes. But I
And
can
so
be you can be yourself too and add that culture and add that aspect, because it's
yes,
encouraging her.
yes.
Yes.
And be the things that are necessary within, of course, reasonable limits to
Right.
encourage, to empower my
Mhm.
patient. Yes.
Yes, I really love that story. It's so important, especially in today's age. Teenagers are really suffering in a lot of ways, bullying, depression, anxiety, so it's
TMI, too much
important.
information on the internet
Too
that they're not ready to
much.
handle yet.
Yes, filters, they're seeing filters of people that are completely filtered, at a young age, so they think that their faces are supposed to be perfect, so that's just not the case. So I love that you were able to encourage her with your faith and adding in your flavor and your culture and that it helped her in that way. So that's great. So I think this was a great discussion. We're going to do our wrap up questions. So I love how you embrace your authenticity. And I think that this will definitely motivate our listeners to embrace, your authenticity, even if you can't do it all the time, but in the glimmers, in those small conversations when you are able to just connect, and to have that human experience because we are humans at the end of the day, right? Even though we wear a white coat, we're not robots. We do our best. We learned a lot. And of course, every person has their own unique experiences, and we have them for a reason. Sometimes it's to connect with other people and to help guide them on their path. So I love that. So our wrap up questions are: who is a model for joy in your life?
Hmm. Wow. I'll say the biggest one is my dad.
Hmm. And why?
My dad, I mean, I've seen my dad upset, but even when we were in dire straits, financial issues, not so good news, he still found a way to be grateful.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things he taught me. You know, no, you always have a reason to be happy with what you have, no matter
Hmm.
how small. And he would get this, I could tell he would get irritated or annoyed if there was any suggestion from us as kids that showed ingratitude, not
Mm-hmm.
just to what he gave us, but the things around. He's like, oh, you always have a reason to be thankful, no
Hmm.
excuses.
Hmm.
And he's lived that throughout. He's shown contentment in seasons where I was like, really? Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
my dad, my dad.
Yeah, I think that's such a strength, such a strength that he has. Yeah, yeah. So, okay. And if you were cooking a cake of joy, what are the top three ingredients of that cake?
Yeah, I no questions. Dr. Magda, I love you. I love you. Okay. So
Okay.
only three. Okay.
Okay.
I would
Yeah,
say,
three. The
and
top
I would
three. It has more ingredients, but those
many.
are the
Okay,
top
okay.
three.
All
Yeah,
right.
the
So
medium
top three.
ingredients. Mhm.
Top three. One, faith in
Mhm.
God. And the Bible talks about the joy of the Lord is my strength. So having faith in a God that always has your back, so that even through the challenges, you know something good is coming, feeds your joy. Number two is practicing gratitude.
Mhm.
All seasons, you gotta practice it. And you got that's a powerful ingredient. And then three, good company. Joy
Mm.
thrives in an atmosphere of joy. And sometimes that good company is just yours. Just you.
Just the
You got it.
mirror, just
That's it.
smile at yourself,
Yeah,
right? That
you got it. That's it. So fake
sometimes.
gratitude and good company. I'll say at the
I love
third.
that.
Three type cake.
I
Cake.
love that. So we had just so the audience is aware, we had a previous episode on Dr. Tolu's live stream where we did a laughter is medicine and we did a 1 minute of laughter exercise.
Oh my gosh.
you know, I think that went over pretty well last
Yes,
time.
it did. Yes,
Yeah,
it did.
you just did.
You took me by surprise. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
good. That was
yeah.
good.
That was a lot of fun. So sometimes just like taking a moment to think about, good things, to laugh, to find things to laugh about, and then that 1 minute of laughter is, just laughing, right? Just find someone and just laugh for a minute and see how you feel. And actually felt good. It kind of get us back into that parasympathetic, relaxation mode, helps her relieve stress. So this has been a great conversation.
I enjoyed it.
And I enjoyed it very much. I know our audience got a lot from it. And it's such an important topic. Just, embracing that authentic self, being yourself, finding ways to not to hide every aspect of yourself, but show certain glimmers if you're in an environment where you can't, right? And then also, if you have the space and capacity to be your full self because you have your own company or your own clinic or your own business, you have that leeway to not reproduce the same thing that you came from, right? So you have that leeway to show your authentic self, your freedom, your color, and put your energy into your space, which I love that you've been able to do. So thank you everyone for joining. That's all. If you want to contact or get in touch with Dr. Tolu, she is in Mansfield, Texas, Living Spring Family Medical Center. She's also on YouTube. What's your YouTube channel, Dr. Tolu? You can tell them your YouTube and your Facebook as well.
You can look us up, one word, Living Spring, then
Mhm.
Family Medical Center. On Instagram is dr_Olabintan MD. But if you Google my name, you should be able to get those handles as well.
Yes, and I'll put that in the description as well. So please like, share this with a friend, subscribe, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Till the next episode. Bye.